recapping today's game and for information on all sports at WVU, please visit WVUsports.com. On behalf of the WVU baseball team, thank you for attending today's game. Hope to see you back.
How badly do you wish that you could split this game up and retroactively give some to yesterday's game?
You know, when you play a game like this, it's inevitable no matter who you play. If you beat them by that much, then the next day is always a dogfight, no matter who it's against, because they were, you know, a few minutes ago they were down by 15, but their next at-bat's going to be in a tie game. So actually the losing team after a game like that has more momentum going into tomorrow than the winning team does. So we got to come out ready to play. You know, I just told our guys an average team after the loss on Friday would have folded up and not played hard. A good team would have come out like we did today and win. A great team will do it again tomorrow. So we have to, we didn't feel too bad about it after the game on Friday. Can't feel too good about it after today's game. Tomorrow's game is the biggest game of the year.
You mentioned wiping the slate clean. I think you're 11-2, something like that, coming off a loss. Looking back at some of the best teams you've had here during your time at West Virginia, do you think that's kind of a common theme with some of those teams? You
know, I think last year's team, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we lost 3 games in a row the entire season last year. Don't know that, but that's something for you guys to check on. But that was one of the things on our resume, I think, at the end of the year. We never lost 3 in a row. And the fact that we did what you just said, it's a sign of a great team. You lose a game, you come back and win a game.
Coach, obviously the day that Grant had yesterday, obviously, you want to forget about something like that real quick, and he comes back and hits 2 home runs today. Just his response, I mean, how do you characterize that?
You know, hitters are crazy people sometimes. It's a super mental game, and it just takes one swing sometimes to get you in a really good place mentally as a hitter. And he had a couple good swings late in the game. It was nice to see Landon hit a couple doubles today. So I think those guys are all in a pretty good place. JJ's always in a good place, right. You know, but it's nice to get contributions from some of those other guys for sure.
Did Traxel fight you to pitch the 9th? Or?
Yeah, he looked over there, but somebody asked me what his pitch count was, and I said I don't know, and I don't care. But we needed Keegan Allen to throw an inning. He's coming off an injury, so we needed to get him some experience. So accolades don't do much for me. Winning games does a lot more for me.
I don't know if you've gone into a Sunday without having Bruce Carlson yet. How important is it to Traxel goes 8 and you got him back, Carlson back there?
Yeah, you know, if we would have had to use Carlson today, we probably wouldn't be available tomorrow. So, and Carlson's capable of going 3-4 innings, you know. So Hageman hasn't pitched yet, and he's been really good for us. So, you know, we got some arms in the bullpen, so things are lined up pretty well tomorrow. But that doesn't mean we're going to win the game. We have to come out. Still have to come out and play and smash some baseballs.
Coach, along those lines, 2 games now against probably the top offense in the Big 12, and they've scored 7 runs. You know, I don't know if you really expect that coming in, or I mean, are you learning something even more about your pitchers?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Hampton and Traxel do. They beat good teams, and the football equivalent of Texas Tech's offense would be a team that averages 48 or 50 points a game. They're just so hard to contain. They've got so many different dimensions and so many different guys who can hit homers, and you know, just gotta limit the free passes. Traxel, I don't think walked many today, so if you walk a couple and then they hit a homer, that's how you lose games. So we just gotta attack the strike zone and hopefully we outsmug them.
Speaking of home runs, you hit your 70 today, which is second most. I'm on the clock, man. I'm on the clock. Second most there. Did you expect this much power?
No, not really. You know, I think Huss had 11 last year. How many's he got now? Is that
probably past him at 13?
Yeah, so you kind of figured he'd do that or a little more. Never thought JJ would do what he's doing. And between McNeely and Wallace, they each had 9, I think. So, yeah, we didn't expect that. We didn't expect to run as much as we run. So a lot of guys are having really good years. And that's a sign of a good team.
Has that tweaked your managing style a little bit in the running game since you've got so much power?
Yeah, you know, but some of the fields we play at, you know, you go to Kansas State and the ball flies out of that yard, and Oklahoma State, the ball flies out of that yard. You can't run into outs, you know. So as many bases as we've stolen, the most impressive part is we haven't been thrown out much. And you always want your success rate to be around 80%. I think ours is much better than that. So we run when we need to run and don't run when we shouldn't.
14th conference win ties the most. Obviously, with more games to go. What's that say?
You know what that meant to us last year when we said that? Absolutely nothing. So we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to try and win the first inning tomorrow. That's all we can focus on.
It's sort of along that line. You guys are now magic numbers 2 from something unprecedented in baseball here in the Big 12. How do you keep these guys focused at when history is right across within grasp?
Yeah, we've been doing it all year. You know, you try and keep guys from looking ahead. They're kids. They get on social media and they see projections and they know what all that stuff means. But as a coaching staff, you got to coach these kids more when you're having a season like this than you do when you're not. Because you got to keep them focused. And you know, our strength coach and our trainer, this is the time of the year where they are super important, keeping guys healthy and fresh and ready to compete all the time. And you know, we're over there handing out cherry juice to our guys so they can recover for tomorrow. So that's our job, is to keep them focused. And I think my assistant coaches, support staff do a tremendous job of that.
What about for you personally?
I don't do much. I just stand there and watch these guys play. They're so much fun to be around, and I just let my coaches do their thing and let the players do their thing, and it's just fun to be a part of it.
History would mean something for you, though, right?
It would mean something to me because it would mean something to the kids and the community and the university and the state. For me personally, I don't have those type of goals, but I would feel really good for the community of Morgantown and all the residents of West Virginia to hang their hat on something that's never been done before.
3,200 here today in the ballpark, 10th most ever on not a really good day. Kind of got some momentum with the fans and the excitement and enthusiasm.
Yeah, I've said it before, you know, when we hosted a regional in 2019, I think the huge crowd worked against us because that was the first one. And our kids were just as rattled in that atmosphere as the other team was, but now we're getting kind of used to it. You know, we're throwing 4,000 a game in here when the weather's nice, and our kids are responding to it much better now. So that's a good sign. I'd like to personally thank all 4,000 of them if I could, but if they're watching, thank you guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Did those 2 swings feel exactly the same to you? Because they looked like it.
They were the exact same place in the bullpen, so it was, pretty much 2 of the exact same swings.
Grant, I was talking to Coach a couple days ago, and he said that he thought that these last 10 games were the best that you have played all around since you've been here. Just wondering if you've seen that growth improvement in yourself, or what kind of rhythm that you can feel that you're on right now.
Yeah, I've been seeing pitch as well. A lot of it comes down to, I think today was my 100th career game, so just maturing and seeing pitch as well. Yesterday wasn't a great day, but turned it around today and back to where I was. So.
Yeah, along that line, how do you get over something like that? Apparently as quickly as you did.
I mean, you're playing the same game every day. You go home, you go to bed, you get up, you come to the field, and play the same game you did yesterday.
2 home runs, same pitches?
I think one was a slider and one was a changeup.
Okay.
How much do you think for this offense only plating 2 runs, kind of almost a season low for you guys, kind of fueled that offensive performance today?
It definitely puts a chip on our shoulder. The bats haven't been cold all year, so we come back and we put up 17 runs.
You know, I think Coach said the mark of a great team is going back and doing it again tomorrow. You know, how do you keep that momentum after you put up so many runs today?
I think the momentum just carries into tomorrow. After you do that, it's kind of easy. You're in a rhythm. You don't have to worry about anything. Just go out there and play our game.
Speaking of tomorrow, you guys seem like an incredibly close team, just person-to-person friends. What do you want to say to the seniors who are walking tomorrow?
I love all those guys. Yeah, it's just awesome to be part of the family. They'll be my friends for life, and I wish them the best.
Grant, you guys are closing in. The magic number now is 2 for a Big 12 regular season title. You know, a lot of things are easy to kind of shrug off in this game, but, you know, we're talking about history here. How do you guys manage, you know, getting closer and closer, you know, to that magic number?
Yeah, nothing's a cakewalk, especially with tomorrow Tech and Texas next week. And going there, I've heard it's hard to win. So, I mean, like I said earlier, just playing our game, knowing what we're capable of, and just putting it on repeat.
Yeah, they don't make it easy for you, right?
That's what I've heard.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Coach said you tried to fight him a little bit to pitch the 9th, but he said he needed Keegan to get an inning, but just, you know, not many times you get a chance to, you know, close out a 17-2 game. I mean,
yeah, I mean, every time I come out, I want to pitch the whole game, so it's always a fight. Every time he tells me I'm done. If I feel good, I'll fight him. If not, I'll let him go. But he knew it was going to be a little bit of a battle for sure.
You know, this is a really good offense, top in the Big 12 coming into this weekend, but you guys have held them to 7 runs over 2 games. What's been the biggest key in that?
I mean, just throwing strikes. If you look at it, we didn't give up too many free bases, and then when I did personally, I was able to get out of it. And I mean, just the free bases, limiting that is the key to pitching always.
Blaine, what's it like for you as a pitcher to be sitting in the dugout and watching this West Virginia offense do things like it did today?
It's pretty fun. It makes it a lot easier to pitch for sure. Whenever the guys are hitting like that, it's just easy because then you just go out, want to attack, and get back in there so they can go do it again.
obviously, mentally, when you see 5-6 runs going up an inning, it makes your job a little easier. But still facing this Texas Tech lineup, is there anything different to it as compared to other teams in the Big 12?
I mean, you just don't want to make it bigger than it is. You want to treat it the same. All hitters are good at this level. I mean, they're going to run into some, and sometimes they won't. You just got to attack everybody like they're the best, and you'll always be good with that.
Kind of a wonky way to get prepped for a start with a 45-minute delay. Did that throw a wrench in any of your warm-ups, or how did you handle that?
No, they let me know beforehand that that was going to happen, so to kind of like take it easy on the warm-up. So I was just kind of chilling, and then once we found out the exact time, I had 45 minutes, which was plenty of time for me to get ready. I don't take too long.
Blaine, this team has a magic number now of 2 to win the conference title. Walk in here this first year and possibly be a part of history that's never been done here before. Just how can you put that in towards the role you played?
Yeah, I mean, coming in, I just wanted to do something special. We had this team. We knew in the fall that we were pretty good, that we were going to have a chance to do some cool things. And, I mean, it's always the goal going into it, but I think we had a real realization of it. And we could see it happening in the fall, putting it together, and I think everything that we've thought is just happening.
Why?
Because of our pitching staff is pretty strong. We have a lot of great hitters, great defense. We really have all the parts. I mean, we have a deep bullpen. We got guys like Carlson Reed, Aiden Major, David Hagman that come out of the bullpen, and like when they come out, you just know it's going to be a zero. And if it's not, then you know that the offense can battle back and get us some runs. So we're always confident with everything.
Okay, anything else? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
JJ, after a day like yesterday, only putting up 2 runs, and then you guys come out here today and you put up 17, how much did that performance yesterday kind of fuel the bats heading into today?
Yeah, I mean, I think yesterday we were just kind of like off. I don't really know. It was just some of the bats were not competitive, and it wasn't typical of us. Their arms were pretty good, but it was guys that I thought that we should have been more competitive against. So it's kind of just hit the reset button, lock it back in for today. We knew that one loss isn't gonna determine the series, so we had a chance to really come back out here and just hit the ball well, and especially with the rain delay, we've kind of experienced that before. I don't know if they have, but we did that last week against Oklahoma, so we're kind of used to that type of stuff. So we just knew it was a good chance to come out and swing it, and we did, and it was definitely that was good.
JJ, you and Grant obviously know each other. I mean, you guys came in here together. To have the day that he kind of did was struggling yesterday, and then to come back and just kill the ball. How does he rebound so fast? And do you say anything to him after last night or anything?
I don't know what it is with him, honestly. It's actually a weird tool of his. But I think I talked about it the last time I mentioned him in one of the interviews. He could look bad on one swing, and then next swing send the ball 500 feet. So he's got a short memory, which is really important in this game. And he's never the type of guy who dwells on the bad at bats for too long. He's just gonna go up there with confidence pretty much every at bat. And yesterday wasn't his day, but you're going to have days like that. You never want to, but it's just bound to happen. So I think he just did a good job of kind of like resetting it. He noticed that he was like off, and he kind of put it like that, like, hey, maybe I was a little tired or whatever. And then just woke up today excited to play, and then you get a day like that, which is ridiculous.
What's the difference between a game like today when you get a big lead in the middle innings and you keep the foot on the gas, say, versus a game like Pitt on Wednesday?
I think it's just, like less stressful baseball. So like whenever it's big, like we go out to a big lead, and then that's kind of you find out what the game's going to be like if we like chill out and they claw back, if it's going to be like a battle like that, versus today it was like we never took our foot off the gas. So it's a lot easier. Like in the field, you're playing more confidence. At the plate, you're having more fun. Everybody's having more fun. So it's a better feeling knowing that if they score 1 or 2 runs, like they had a homer and they had another homer, but you just wipe it and we came back and scored like 3 or 4. So it's definitely a lot easier to play in type of game like this. And once you start scoring some runs, you got to find a way to just keep doing it, especially with them because they score a ton.
Blaine is kind of a character, just with the way he pitches, and then, he's not afraid to jaw a little bit. You saw him with the cone in the dugout. Is there a different feel, like in the field when he's on the mound in a game?
Yeah, I mean, I know that he's like pretty much in control, and he kind of will direct me in certain situations, like if he wants me to play over here versus this way, and we kind of have good communication that way. But I definitely just have confidence in him, and I'm pretty much expecting a grounder every time he's throwing, just because he gets people out in front a ton and stuff like that. So he's definitely he's a character out on the mound. He's a character outside of the game too. But he's a great kid, and he's having a great year.
JJ, you guys have the magic numbers down to 2 now to win the Big 12. You guys, I mean, this team in general has been really good at staying focused and not really kind of worrying about bigger pictures. But I mean, this is kind of history we're talking about here. So does this, add anything to these, Final 4 games? I mean, how does the approach change at all with history?
I don't know how much the approach changes, but it's more just like excitement to play it. Yeah. Kind of sometimes these series towards the end of the year cannot mean anything. Say like we weren't in the chase for a playoff like that, so you can brush it off that way. But we know what's kind of at stake, so kind of just gets us hyped up to play. For some people it might be like a little bit of pressure. You're feeling like we need to win these games, but in general I think we do a good job of just using it in a competitive aspect and just looking forward to playing and doing something that's never been done before.
The Team USA recognition, honor that you've received to get that invite, what does that mean to you in this program?
I think it's pretty cool. I'm not sure if someone's ever gotten invited there. I know no one's ever been like actually on the team post like the invitation to tryout, so that's something I'm really looking forward to. It's pretty cool because hopefully we'll get a guy almost like every year. That's the goal. If we become a program like that where we can just continuously get people down there and get the recognition like worldwide like that is. But then again, like I still have to focus on this season, so that's something obviously I'm looking forward to, but we're kind of just locked in for the rest of the conference games.
When Randy told the team after that Pitt game, what was that moment like for you?
It was pretty cool. I mean, like I knew I had some people trying to like pull for me to get me on that invite there. And I had a feeling it would happen, but I wasn't really like in communication. It wasn't something that I was like getting updates on or stuff like that. So I actually had no idea. So it was pretty cool the way that he did it with the whole team there. It was a cool moment.
Okay, thank you very much.